At the moment, I'm an assistant professor at the Technical University of Denmark. My research topic is AI safety. That's a really broad topic, essentially. But it's anything that you can think about under the sky regarding AI and its safe use and deployment. So that would mean, okay, robustness of AI tools, the uncertainty estimation and communication, fairness and explainability, for instance. But that's only a topic I'm working on now. So I started off in this domain with an interest on working with very little data, but still having models that can perform as well, and that interest is still going on. So low resource machine learning is my other direction that I'm interested in. I'm originally from India, and I've been living within Europe for now. This is 25, right? 12 years now, as a matter of fact. So I moved to do my master's in Germany in 2013. I lived there for 3 years, then I went for my PhD to Finland, Helsinki Metropolitan. There I lived and did my PhD for 4 years, and then I moved to Copenhagen for my postdoc, and that's where I am at the Technical University, and now I'm a faculty there.
Who are your DCs and what do they do?
Yes, so I can tell you about the DC we have managed to hire so far. So Eva, she is our DC who's not yet officially started. She'll be starting in July, but she'll be working on the mental health use case. And we are really excited because, I'm yet to know a little more about her because we have not had a one-to-one time. All we got to know about her was from the interviews, and we really liked her. What I can say is that she's accomplished a lot already within the domain of explainability and fairness, just within the span of doing a bachelor, master's, and she's been working for some time as a researcher back in Greece as well. So at the Technical University, she'll be contributing towards the goal of realizing the values that a lot of the other DCs from the legal and ethical perspective, and also from psychology, come up with. So those values, and integrate it within the actual tools. So there is some engineering aspect of it, but the most interesting part is to develop the aligned tools with these values, and also to evaluate these tools in a suitable way. So we are hoping to be able to touch the entire pipeline, like through our DCs, from the design of the data to also the evaluation. The other DC that we are currently hiring, we had some hiccups with, we don't know who it is, they'll be working on the education use case with TUM and also TU Eindhoven. And the goals for this is, like the broader education use case goal, is that the target group are children, school-going children. One is how can AI, be that LLMs and generative AI, be still used to support learning without taking over the creative process that is so important in the development of a child. And the other aspect is, how do you convey and communicate the behavior of a generative AI tool to a child who is still not aligned or doesn't really have the technical skills and the knowledge to understand what a generative AI tool is. So to bring that high level or really technical content to more of a children's language or school-going kids' language.
What motivated you to become involved with the alignAI project?
That's a very good question. So as a researcher, so although I'm trained as an engineer and now working in computer science, the place in history where we are with a lot of the AI, computer science stuff, technology, where we are with technology, I really strongly believe that the challenges we're facing is not something we can solve alone at all, let alone solving. That's really far away, even asking the right questions. I believe that this is more of an interdisciplinary requirement to have, if you're building tools, if you're developing research and development for a certain target group, to bring in the people who this is for, who will be using it, who have the expertise in these domains. And that is my core belief. And then I got invited, actually. I wasn't supposed to be in there, but this was just a straight conversation. I knew one of the coordinators from one of the universities where, I participated in a seminar some time back, and she just one day looped me in, and I joined the meetings. And just participating in the meetings and realizing what the goal of this consortium was, for me, I was like, this is my dream sort of a team. That, okay, yes, I do have some competence, but I cannot ask the right questions by myself. I need the support of such interdisciplinary experts, and then this is what the consortium provides me. So that was the motivation behind joining alignAI, but I would say it was more of a chance, and like a really good lucky chance for me, that I was kind of at the right time, at the right place. So
okay.
So it's more like I gained out of it than that way.
Interesting story, like interesting way how you got to
to
know about it. Okay.
And then I also since then, the writing process, working on the consortium agreement, grant agreement, I interacted with the partners in the consortium. That just the initial feeling that I had that this is a really good consortium, it just strengthened. So far, I mean, I hope it goes this way. You can never say research is very difficult. It's not that easy. What we are setting out to do is also extremely hard. So we never know how it goes, but so far I have just had great experience with the teams that I'm interacting with and working with. Yeah.
What unique perspective or expertise does your group or institution bring to the alignAI network?
Yes, I would say, so we are very focused on the technical development of the tools. So that sounds trivial, but putting together, when we do have qualitative surveys and define the values, and then taking those values and embedding it in the knowledge space of a generative AI, the representation space, getting an output, evaluating it. This whole pipeline is a challenge, societal, ethical challenge, but also the technical challenge. And I think DTU will be contributing a lot with this technical challenge. So the other partners in the consortium have these complementary skills and competence of design, expertise and perspective, also mixed methods for evaluation. We bring in the more statistical perspective and the more implementational perspective of building, developing, evaluating, so perspective of that. This I can just tell about, and I think the DC we have hired, Eva so far, she's very strong also on her experience in implementing stuff, but also has a very strong opinion of the requirements of interdisciplinary skills, and also regulation, how regulation fits into this entire conversation. Because, we can keep talking, but if at the end we do say that, yes, but we are overdoing with a certain, asking for a fixed framework, I think we won't push ourselves to be sufficiently creative to cater to these requirements of regulatory frameworks. And I think staying in that box, we also push our creativity to still conform to these requirements, but using the benefits that these tools bring to us. So, I think that is the unique perspective, competence that DTU will bring to it.
How do you think alignAI can influence policy or public understanding around AI and alignment?
Okay, yes. So I can speak from how I perceive our contributions to the project. So public understanding is a lot about how we communicate our scientific results in popular science way. When we're talking about fairness, for instance, or we are also talking about uncertainty of a model, what does it mean by 95% the model is uncertain? down the line, by the end of the project, actually one of my personal goals, and through the work of our DCs at DTU, the goal is also to understand how you can optimize this communication. So one thing is to estimate uncertainty of a model. Another thing is to communicate that. And maybe because given the interdisciplinary nature of the project, which means that we will also have access to people who these models are trained for, we can also test as to if we end up developing a model that is sufficiently fair and explainable for children, we can also deploy it and have a sort of do an evaluation with the children as to how do you think that's is it fair enough or is it explainable enough. I personally at this point don't know how we'll end up doing it because yes, I have not done that earlier, doing this sort of a mixed user specific or user based study, but I'm hoping by the end of this project we will explore some aspects of that. So that was one part of how do you communicate your research to the public. The other part is also that I think alignAI, the way it is positioned now, we don't specifically say, okay, regulation, but there are some milestones where for some of the partners where they're saying, okay, standards, contribute to standards, for instance. And I think that also goes a long way in terms of defining policy and communicating these things to politicians, for instance. When you are able to build tools, build metrics, build evaluations, test it, and optimize your communication, you have like the entire structure probably to go and take it to a policy expert and say, hey, look, this is what we found. And we don't have a way to measure fairness of models yet. We need to do better on that, for instance.
How do you envision the use cases, be it education, mental health, news, contributing to the practical outcomes?
Okay, the practical outcome, when you tell that, I hear it two ways. One is practical tools itself for people to use. For me, again, going back to your previous question on policy and engaging people and general public, practical outcomes are also how these tools can be turned into policy for these domains within, very specifically speaking, within the EU AI Act, education, mental health. Also news, for instance, disinformation, misinformation. These are really high stakes and critical impact scenarios. So I am hoping that whatever we develop, whatever insights, good, bad, negative, unsuccessful insights we develop or gain from this project, we will still be able to take it to shape some aspects of policy discussion, saying that, okay, no, what you're writing here with respect to what's necessary for tools to be compliant. In the AI Act, for instance, we don't have metrics to do that yet. We are not able to measure it accurately, for instance. And then we develop on that to ask the right questions then to maybe refine the requirements of a framework for a more safer and trustworthy AI ecosystem.
What kind of impact do you hope your work will have in the next decade?
I actually see this consortium, so I won't speak just about my work, but the outcome from this project. It's actually laying the foundation of this entire ecosystem of trustworthy AI. When we talk about trustworthy AI, even today, although research, if you go and look into papers, you will find a lot of papers on it. But what it actually means to go from those research to putting it in practice, operationalizing it, we don't have the means yet. In terms of this arc of how do you do that A to B. And I feel that this project will at least give us a way to, best case scenario, A to B, how do we reach from research-based outcomes to actually trustworthy AI in practice. In not so good case, let's say we do hit some bottlenecks, it will just be that we'll ask better questions. But I think we are laying the foundation of like also defining policy and contributing to standards, for instance. This is going to have an impact in the next few years definitely. Yeah, and then maybe more research on this can be built on this project as well, to ask better questions, to ask for better frameworks, standardization frameworks, to develop just better research and models, or the entire AI pipeline. I think that probably is a super short-term impact. 10 years, I don't know. So it's also difficult for me at this point. I have to think a bit about this question because we don't know what AI is going to look like in 10 years also. So I'm still thinking about, like when you ask me this question, this project, given that AI development has been frozen. But we know that it's not going to happen. So we are talking about LLMs and generative AI. Now we are headed towards agents and so multi-agent systems, so general purpose AI. And then there is, like, as soon as we start talking about these set of systems, we just run into a different looking problem. Maybe similar, but still different problems. And then that will be the next goal, to start handling or addressing prospectively, not like a catch-up, but based on this project prospectively, what are the questions and challenges we are going to face, given that we know how it looks like with challenges with generative AI. So in like 5 years, when we have general purpose AI, what are the things we have to look at?
But do you think that we can tackle such systems proactively, although we're not?
It's very difficult.
People from different disciplines, they're not actively participating in the development of these systems.
No.
So they are necessarily acting reactively to them and not proactively. And that's, I think, based on what you said, is the main challenge.
Yes, absolutely. Just gauging because it's advancing so fast, there is a reason why we are having to do it retrospectively and not prospectively. I wish we could do it prospectively. I wish that this project actually gives us those tools to think about AI and the next 5 years of AI prospectively, so we can also prospectively start addressing the challenges that are going to come our way. Otherwise, we will still keep playing catch-up and still address those challenges in retrospective. Yeah.
As fast as possible.
Yes, as fast as possible
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for these insights. They're very valuable, and thank you for your time. That concludes our interview. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure for me too. Thank you.